Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's June 4th, 2025, looking at the northern Sawtooth with some hanging on to quite a bit of snow, much more snow than what I saw in the Pioneers yesterday. Definitely melting out pretty fast up there. And if you're still enjoying this broadcast, we ask you do a one-time donation, or even better, sign up for a monthly sustaining membership. Highlights for the upcoming days, we're still in northwest flow, so that's going to keep the temperatures near normal. That's going to push out though in the next day or so, and we are still going to keep a chance of showers this afternoon. Better chance tomorrow afternoon with some thunderstorms in the mix. About 10 to 20% chance of that. And then moving into the weekend, it's going to be warm and dry. We're going to be going into the 80s again. And yeah, not too much happening weather-wise. And if you're up in the Stanley area, you might have felt a little shake yesterday morning, really early, around 1. There's a magnitude of 4.0 earthquake. These are all happening kind of in the same region where that big earthquake happened in 2020. I think it was March 31st, 2020. That was a 6.5 or a 6.5. I think it was a little further north than these. Could be wrong about that. Anyway, not weather related, but mountains are still moving out there. This is more weather related. The National Interagency Fire Center put out a fire outlook that I'll kind of probably do a separate briefing on. Our mountains are going to be in above normal for significant wildfire potential starting in July. Should be no surprise as the snow is melting a little quicker and we've been pretty dry. I think we're approaching a drought if we're not already in a drought. And looking at the satellite this morning, we got some clouds entering the area later today, but going to start out each morning pretty clear until those afternoon showers come into play. Taking a look at the HRRR, those afternoon showers don't really develop until later in the day. You can see just a couple of specks coming through. Popping up in the mountains. There's not really a ton of moisture, but there is some, probably using that orographic lift of the mountains, pushing that cooler air and condensing clouds and forming rain. Tomorrow afternoon, we do have a better chance. That's going to be starting around, around 1 p.m. and kind of start building from the north to south. And in the Sawtooth, White Clouds, Galena Pass area, and will probably drift its way down into the night, but probably disband as they usually fall apart in the nighttime. And there's going to be a 10 to 20% chance of thunder showers for tomorrow afternoon, mostly in the mountain area. Looking at how much of that precip we're going to get, it does look like we could be close to 1/10 of an inch in the Pioneers today, and then a little bit for tomorrow afternoon, and then Thursday afternoon. Oh, yeah, that's Thursday afternoon. And then looking ahead at the general outlook, let me put this back. We're going to be above normal temperatures going into next week. Near normal, let's change for precip, that's good. And then continuing with above normal temperatures and near normal for precip pretty much to the end of the month. Looking at temperatures, we're going to be in the 70s in Haley, pushing up to almost 80 degrees on Friday, but during the weekend we're going to be back to the mid 80s, similar to last weekend, and we're going to be keeping in the 80s into the foreseeable future. We're going to be, having a storm maybe a chance of a storm coming in on Tuesday will be our next chance of weather. Taking a look at that now on the GFS. We'll start it back at the beginning though. So we're in this northwest flow. That's kind of keeping those afternoon showers in play. And then by Friday, we start developing this upper level ridge, high pressure, which means nice weather. Warmer temperatures comes overhead on Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. It doesn't really break down until this little trough comes in on Tuesday, and that's what's going to be the catalyst for some rainy weather, but it doesn't really look too strong. So this is kind of starting to get into the future cast, so we'll just kind of see what happens with that, but it doesn't look like we're going to be getting too much significant weather.